On the channel, SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. One Africa TV, it just gets better.
Today on One, Always There.
Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary.
Today on One, we forgive Shannon Skillers, says the family. Shut it all down broadens SGBV dialogue. And NUNW wants to change laws that exploit Namibian workers.
The family of the late Shannon Wasserveld, whose remains were found buried in a shallow grave in the dunes at Walvis Bay, are calling on those involved in her murder to come forward and help with police inquiries. This comes shortly after a male suspect was arrested, who is believed to be the brother of the main suspect, who allegedly assisted the main suspect in hiding the body. The bereaved Wasserveld family says that they are content with the recent arrest and that the family has forgiven those involved in the murder, therefore leaving everything in the hands of God.
We are not angry. We have, as people who are coming out of, as Christians, we strongly believe in forgiveness. We have forgiven you. We don't have any issues with you. I know you guys, for us it's almost a conclusion, but you guys are going through a lot now. I strongly believe you guys are going through a lot, and we don't carry any hatred against you. Unfortunately, the law must take its course. That's all I can say for them. The truth will finally come out. But I think Shannon is speaking also. That's why there is such a long delay with her burial. I think she wants, before she's going to be laid to rest, I think she wants the truth to come out. As a father of 3 daughters, I think that really us, since there are men also involved in this, I would appeal to us men, really. I think it's time for us to stand up. I think it's time for us to heal our women. Instead of killing our women, let us join hands. If you're having a psychological problem, stand up and speak. Find help. The earlier you find help, the better. Really, this God blessed us with the most precious gifts, and that's a woman. We are supposed to take care of them.
Another family member said that the remains of Shannon was discovered on the 6th of October 2020, and the second suspect was arrested on the 6th of November 2020.
Shannon's remains was found on the 6th of October, and it's such a miracle that on the 6th of November, another suspect actually came forward. God is not sleeping. Every day, God will reveal this, and all the people that did this to Shannon, justice. We are about to get justice for Shannon's murder and everything. So we are about to conclude this.
The late Shannon Wasserveld will be laid to rest on the 14th of November 2020 in Walvis Bay.
Imagine opening your Nedbank account anywhere, anytime by simply taking a selfie. Introducing Identity Today, a platform which enables you to open your Nedbank account, scan the Nedbank QR code with your smartphone camera, and immediately follow the instructions on the link that will open up in your web browser. Follow the simple steps to complete the account opening online form. Have your identity card or passport ready. Take a selfie and send it to us, and your new Nedbank account will be opened and confirmed in 3 minutes or less. Visit www.nedbank.com.na to shift your account to Nedbank today. Nedbank. See money differently.
You pay less. Enjoy these fantastic mid-month savings only at Clicks until 18 November. Buy Pampers Baby Dry Disposable Nappies or Pants Value Pack now $118.99. Buy Clicks 2-ply toilet paper 18 rolls, $89.99 each. Or buy Protex soap 150 grams 3 for $29. Buy any 3 on Jackie's hair care products, cheapest one free. Clicks. Feel good, pay less.
Members of Hashtag Shut It All Down at a recent consultative meeting with the Gender Ministry to discuss solutions to the ongoing sexual and gender-based violence crisis in the country remarked that Namibian women are experiencing fear and a collective trauma as a result of the countless SGBV cases, which have led to protests that have in turn accelerated action that should have already been implemented from the responsible government institutions to address the issue. At the meeting, members of Hashtag Shut It All Down presented a national plan of action with 4 action areas that will look into the protection, care and dignity of the survivor, safety nets, transformative youth engagement, and adequate data for funding. Youth leader at the forefront of Hashtag Shut It All Down, Bertha Tobias revealed a lack of sensitivity and empathy training from first responders and inadequate SGBV public education amongst other focus points within Action Area 1 of its SGBV National Plan of Action.
So what that practically looks like is a young woman running into a police station and she's been stabbed and she is crying. And there's jokes being made about it, or young men running into police stations and they're being blamed because they are not real men, quote unquote, or there's a perpetuation of toxic masculinity as well, which then discourages young men from speaking out as well. But the operative issue here is the importance of implementing empathy training as a fundamental and consequential component in dealing with sexual and gender-based violence victims and or cases, and responding to them in a way that is encouraging of more reporting and in a way that speaks to the fact that we are all here effectively to support women in situations like that. So secondly, we're also talking about the sexual orientation, gender identity and expression and sex characteristics, and that really speaks to, as Dilo has explained as well, the importance of intersectionality in acknowledging that there's different socio-political identities or socio-political components of those identities in addressing SGBV, and then the importance of having those conversations.
Also at the forefront of Hashtag Shut It All Down is Ndilon Thengwe, Outright Namibia's Advocacy and Communications Officer, who called for interministerial law reform and introduction within the Justice and Gender Ministries. Additionally, the SGBV National Plan of Action also observes safety nets and community care, primary prevention and upgrade, women economic empowerment, and training of religious leaders.
We believe that it should not rely only on the Minister of Justice to come up or to create or design or launch any kind of new laws and acts. It should also be part of the Ministry of Gender's mandate to also then identify those areas and those gaps in which it can become an interministerial law reform and not one specific entity or institution that does that. And then on that note, we want to touch on 2 specific ones that we'd like to also be something of a part in which we look at the hate speech, the criminalization of misogyny already, what that might look like, for example, because we know that misogyny is the intentional contempt or disdain or disregard of another gender or women. So what would the criminalization of misogyny look like? The other is the silence on SGBV Act. These are just ideas. So we know that in specific institutions, in specific areas, silence culture is quite rampant. And if we then criminalize silence that is related to SGBV, that is now when people would be much more aware and say, okay, but I'm not supposed to be quiet on this because it's illegal specifically to SGBV, or I'm not supposed to talk about women or any gender minority people in this specific way because misogyny is criminalized. already. So those are the kinds of ideas that we'd like also to engage and begin to also see how that can be implemented.
The movement further stressed the urgency of the matter, further calling on the Ministry of Gender to step up to the plate and be at the helm of driving SGBV issues that relate to the law, adding that should the dialogue fail, the protests will continue.
If this whole conversation were to fail, and if dialogue is going to fail, then we're going to go back to the streets, and we're going to continue protesting. Because it is urgent, and if there's one thing that's ever needed urgent attention, it's been this. Because every single day, women are dying once again. So that just means that right now there's a conversation once again to hold each other accountable, to implementation, to doing the actual work after this, to doing whatever work needs to be done, and to sort of accelerating and supporting one another's efforts. And if that fails, and if at any point in time there's inaction or a lack of urgency, then the protests will continue until we decide to do something collectively, because we can't keep waiting for someone else to become the next hashtag.
Sun's out. Brighter prints are in. A little color goes a long way. Younger girls' dresses, just $49.99. Why pay more? We're on repeat all summer long. Girls' dresses, only $69.99. Go with the flow. Get more in store this summer. Life's better with Pep.
At a recent press conference that the National Union of Namibian Workers held in the capital to announce its position on the local and regional elections, the Secretary General of NUNW said that they will be working hard on changing some of the laws that were enacted prior to independence and exploit Namibian workers. Job Munyaro, the Secretary General of National Union of Namibian Workers, said that they are working on changing laws that allow foreign investors that own companies in Namibia to take advantage of local workers. He further said it is unacceptable and that Namibia belongs only to Namibians.
This country called Namibia belongs to Namibians. It does not belong to any foreign country. But if a foreign country prescribes to you that I'm going to give you an assistance conditionally, then you tamper with my political operation and my plans in terms of what we have planned ourselves as a country to develop our people, because you want us to deviate from what we have planned for the betterment of our people. And those people does not carry the interest of Namibians at heart, and they are disturbing our peace on the political space. Because they want us to derail from what we are doing and what's supposed to be done.
Munyaro further gave examples of foreign countries that are doing ill deeds by bringing prisoners to work in Namibia.
If a country or a company comes in here trying to see how they want to better our employment situation, you get a tender. You passively import prisoners in a country from your country. What does it mean? That is one, for example, I'm giving you. But this is not the right time for me to insult companies, because we are in a campaign. We want to do it on a fair basis. We are not here to insult anybody, but I want you to do homework. That's why I give you that tip.
He further warned foreign investors who come in the country to open companies to adhere to the Namibian laws and treat their employees with dignity.
My vote is a gateway to opportunities.
My vote is a reflection of my aspiration.
My vote expresses my versatility.
If you are 18 years old and a registered voter, make that first time count. Get to the polls on the 25th November 2020 and vote for the candidate, political party or organization of your choice in the regional council and local authority elections. Make your mark with a cross on the ballot. Do what is right and be part of the decision. Namibia votes.
In other leading stories, on Saturday, President Agakengkop handed over 20 houses to residents from Office Bay and Swakopmund from low-income groups. At the occasion, Gengkop called on the private sector to partner with the government in addressing the housing challenge in the country. He said housing is a necessity and that the government is focused on delivering decent housing to all Namibians. Alongside employment creation, housing is one of his two key priorities as gender-based violence is also caused by poor living conditions. He urged Namibians to be peaceful and to promote unity as a precondition for development, noting that his government is listening and acting to address the concerns of all citizens. The International Youth Fellowship donated 2 television sets to the Namibia Correctional Services for the continuation of the IYF's program in correctional services. The program, called Mind Education, runs in over 80 different countries and came to a halt due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It provides mind education and management skills that instills the right mindset and brings about change. Receiving the donation, Commissioner General Rafael Hamoniela applauded the International Youth Fellowship for their work in rehabilitating offenders. The chairperson of the IYF, Philip Kim, expressed his organization's commitment toward continuing the program in correctional services around the country. The 2 television sets will be used at the Windu Correctional Facility and Warfish Bay Correctional Facility. Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. Community members in Dortabus have accused the police of brutality and tribalism against civilians, as according to them, a certain officer at the station has on several occasions gotten away with brutalizing community members, adding that it's only the Damara people in the area that are being brutalized. Troy said this is a common problem in small towns and that police officers should rotate from time to time. Hyper asked what the old man did for him to be beaten by the officer. He went on to say that police officers are not allowed to mistreat community members, nor can community members do the same against officers of the law. Kaib said the community should sign a petition for the officer to be relieved of his duties. Jacob said tribalism is real in Namibia and both former and current leaders of the country are aware. Japhet said the law enforcement officer is contravening the law by treating the man in an inhumane manner. Salman said the Justice Minister should pronounce herself on this matter as it is unconstitutional. Gift said non-Oshiwambo speakers in Namibia are treated like African Americans in the USA. While Martin said that he is shocked. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on TDN1.
loves to jive. Tafolaga, Namibian like you. Tafolaga, Namibian like you.
A look at the weather forecast. Rains will set in over most parts of the interior by Thursday, except in the west and southwestern part. The interior sunny and warm in the extreme southwest, otherwise partly cloudy and hot to very hot with a few thunder showers over the central high ground, but isolated thunder showers in the far north, northeast and eastern regions. The coast partly cloudy and cool with fog patches at first. The wind moderate northwesterly to southwesterly. Now a look at the minimum and maximum temperatures around the country and beyond.
Win free airtime with One Africa TV. Share your comments on the channel. WhatsApp your feedback, name and town to 081 200 6659. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
COVID-19 affects people very differently. Many people show no symptoms at all, but some are hospitalized for weeks. So what does the disease do to your body? The coronavirus enters through the mouth, nose or eyes. It then usually attaches itself to cells lining the nose, throat, airways or lungs. It can turn these cells into factories that multiply and spread the virus. For the majority, a fever, cough and breathlessness are as bad as it gets. But the virus can damage the small blood vessels lining the lungs and initiate clotting. The alveoli are tiny air sacs where oxygen goes into the blood. If they become inflamed, it can trigger pneumonia. Seriously ill patients need to be given oxygen as the lungs fill with fluid and debris.
I legit couldn't breathe. My oximeter was measuring under 88% oxygen levels, which is very dangerous. And the only time I ever thought my life was in danger was at that point.
COVID-19 doesn't just affect the lungs. It can also disrupt the immune system, which is used by the body to fight illnesses. Cytokines are part of the immune system that find and signal infections. For some people with severe COVID-19, this system can go into overdrive. If too many cytokines build up, it can cause an overreaction that damages healthy cells. This is called a cytokine storm for the most severe cases. COVID-19 can lead to seizures or even a coma. It can also cause brain problems that lead to strokes. The immune system overreacting can cause clots that stop the blood supply to parts of the brain. Brain inflammation, psychosis and dementia-like symptoms can also affect seriously ill patients. The average length of the illness is 14 days, but many people have symptoms for much longer. Breathing problems and post-viral fatigue last for months in some cases.
I cannot walk for long simply because I will feel a little bit short of breath, and I feel the need to sit down. And that's something that has never happened to me before.
Some of the people who are most likely to develop severe symptoms are older adults and those with underlying health conditions. It's not fully known how anyone will react to COVID-19 until they get it. So it's important for everyone to follow health guidance. What precautions are you taking to stay safe?
BBC World News.